The U.S. Army Engineer Research and Development Center is demonstrating current all-weather landing surfaces for a limited assessment of the troop-to-task setup and teardown times.
We're here at the Base Defense Assessment Site, Training Area 190 at Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, where we're working with local engineer units and demonstrating technologies for the Expedient Helipad systems that we could be used in a contingency base camp environment.
Rotary wing aircraft operations on unimproved landing sites are often subject to brownout conditions during landings. These Expedient Helipad systems help improve visibility and provide all-weather landing capabilities to expand available entry points during military operations and humanitarian relief efforts. The assessment appraises 5 systems in terms of planning, manpower, specialized equipment, and the time requirements to construct and disassemble the systems.
These types of systems are designed to be portable, things that you would bring with you into that forward area base. Once you're ready to move on, pack them back up and move them on to the next position.
AM2 matting, lightweight AM2 matting, and tactical helimat are just a few of the systems the squad of soldiers will install during the Expedient Helipad assessment. Staff Sergeant Sharice Walker tells us about some of the challenges her squad faced during the helipad installation.
The surface definitely has a huge impact on laying the AM2 matting. If it's not leveled and if it's not compacted right, it's not graded out properly, I'm not going to say it's impossible, but I will say it makes it extremely difficult to put it down, because some pieces would line up where other pieces would not. And then having to get the locking bar to slide in between the mattings was also a little bit of a difficult process, because you have some that are level, some that are not level. So you have to find a way of making them level and putting the locking bars in.
The soldiers behind me have just finished installing a helipad made out of AM2. This is a system that's been around for decades. Right now the soldiers are finishing staking the perimeter of that pad so that we can have a helicopter land this afternoon.
The soldiers faced a number of challenges with installing different helipad mattings, but the ground surface seemed to be the most problematic. Sergeant Calvin Harris tells us how he resolved those problems.
If the soil's decent and soft, I'd prefer sledgehammers. You know, it's easy. It's more labor, but it's easy. With the skid steer, if we're working in real hard rock and stuff like that, then, or the iHemi, you use a hydraulic jack, in my opinion. We could use the forks to move the panels closer. We used the hydraulic jackhammer to actually hammer in all the stakes. One side was real soft and the other side was real hard, so it kind of made it easier. Instead of beating them by hand, because some of the ground is a lot harder.
So we now know why it's important to have the ground level properly graded, properly compacted.
This assessment helps the Army understand the manpower, equipment, and time savings gained with providing pre-engineered, reusable kits for Expedient helipads, while also minimizing the specialized troops required to complete the task.
We did use different type of materials when setting up different helipads and different fobs and different ops and whatnot downrange. We had to use gravel, the different type of craft, obviously river rock, because it's the hardest material out there and it's pretty much all that they had.
We're working with these soldiers, training them using organic equipment with existing technology so that we can help provide additional capability to these contingency base camps where they can provide all-weather landing surfaces, dust covers, anything that can enable them to bring supplies in better in more environments and help them move forward during operations.
The AM2 helipad concept was validated by bringing a UH-60 Black Hawk to land once the pad was installed. At least one commercial system was also observed during a recent deployment.
While I was deployed in Iraq and Afghanistan, they had the green matting that was laid down the other day. Mostly is what I've seen. It would benefit us because, one, it's not permanent. If you need to use it in another area, you can pick it up and go. So it's more feasible.
ERDC has been working with the TRADOC community to transition technologies by performing these types of assessments. Mr. Mike Fowler tells us how the soldiers' input helped to improve the transition.
We rely heavily on the engineer specialty here at the center. Having those soldiers' input early helps cut back the time in getting the right solution to the soldier and helps us focus that capability on what they need and more rapidly transfer that over to the program manager who fields it to the soldier.
This assessment may help future Army forces increase flexibility in base operations through improved designs that are modular, scalable, and adaptable. For the Army Corps of Engineers, I'm Vince Mouzon.